Hey guys, Alex here, and today I'm going to show you how to bleed your Shimano hydraulic disc brakes. Let's get into it. I've got this awesome looking E160 and it's got Shimano SLX 4 piston brakes, so I'm going to give these a bleed and show you how it's done. This is what you'll need. You'll need a Shimano basic bleed kit, which consists of a funnel and a syringe. You'll need some Shimano mineral oil. You will need a disc brake spreading tool, some Allen keys, a small flat screwdriver, a 7mm spanner, and some isopropyl alcohol and a rag to clean up after. Let's start by removing the wheel. We need to make sure the bleed port is level. Grab your pad spreading tool and gently press on the brake pads, returning the pistons back to their home position. Now we can take the pads out. So start with removing the metal clip on the inside, just like that. Then remove the pin with an Allen key, or it could be a flathead screwdriver on some bikes. And then just pull the pads out the top. Now we insert our bleed block. This goes in from the bottom. And then we use the existing pin to hold it in. The bleed nipple will look something like this. It might look slightly different on different generation brakes. So we need to remove the rubber dust cap. This is what we will need our 7mm spanner for. Alright, now we're ready to start the bleed process. Next, locate your bleed port on your lever. It will either have a 2 or a 2.5mm Allen key, and remove the bleed port. Be careful as you remove it. There is a small rubber O-ring, which you should take off with it. Next up, grab your Shimano bleed funnel that came with your bleed kit and thread it into the bleed port. This here is the plug. We'll use this to plug the hole at the bottom when we want to remove it. Now time to fill our syringe all the way up, pulling on it nice and gently, ensuring not to make any excess bubbles. Now we must purge any excess bubbles in the syringe, see there? So we'll put those to the top and squeeze them out the line into a rag. Just want to get rid of those excess bubbles. We want a nice full syringe with no bubbles inside. Alright, let's get into it. So this is a bottom-up bleed process. So we've got to ensure that the caliper is lower than the lever, which is easy on the front brake, and we'll push the syringe of fluid from the bottom up through the system, exposing any bubbles into the cup at the top. Let's give it a crack. You might need to put a little bit of pressure on the syringe just to press the fluid to the tippy top. And then as you press it up, push it on the bleed nipple, ensuring there's no bubbles in there, and a nice clean fit. Once you've pressed the hose onto the bleed nipple, grab your 7mm spanner and loosen the bleed nipple anti-clockwise, about half a turn. Make sure that your syringe is held in an upward direction as you depress it to make sure that if there's any bubbles in it, they won't end up in your brake system. I like to stop just before you get to the end in case there's any bubbles in the syringe. Then you need to grab your spanner again, tighten the bleed nipple back up again, and then you can remove your syringe. Before we remove the bleed funnel, I like to flick the brake lever a handful of times just to make sure there's no bubbles stuck in the lever anywhere. Now to remove the funnel, we need to use the plug to plug the hole in the bottom. Now we can unthread it. Voila! With a rag, I like to just soak up a little bit of the excess fluid. Don't forget to reinstall the bleed nipple dust cap on the caliper. So start with the hoop. Make sure you clean up after yourself, wipe all the excess brake fluid off with some isopropyl alcohol or some brake cleaner. Alright, we're getting close to hitting the trails. Next we can remove the bleed block. Grab your brake pads, and depending on the brake, a lot of them will have directional brake pads, so make sure you read the pad and put them in the correct direction. Right would always mean the right hand side of the bike, which is the drive side of the bike. Reinstall the pin through the brake pads. You don't need to do this up very tight. I've had plenty of these that have been over tightened. Then lastly, the clip for the end of the pin. Whenever I finish up a brake bleed, I always like to clean the disc rotor before putting it back in, just in case you get any contaminants or anything in the whole process. Now we're ready to reinsert the wheel. Have a feel of the brake, make sure you got a nice firm lever and it's not squishy or it doesn't pull straight to the handlebars. Ooh, that feels so good now. Oh. Adjust your lever back down to your preferred position. Ah, look at that. Nice, perfectly working bled brake. Just what we wanted. As a bike rider, this is a fantastic skill to learn. As you start, just take your time, do it slowly, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll become doing it. So give it a crack and let me know how you go. There you go, guys. Now you know how to bleed your own brakes. If there's any other how-to videos you wanted us to make, please feel free to comment below and we'll see what we can do. But in the meantime, we're going to get out there and go for a ride. So thanks for watching, please like and please subscribe and we'll keep putting up good content. See you guys.